As you all know, at least I hope, I'm not the kind of person that feels the need to shout his own opinion all the time. Thanks God, we live in a democracy, so you like whatever you like, and that is fair, it's actually good. But when it comes to art, when it comes to something that's going to attach the kind of image that shaped our childhood and memory, that is a problem. So I believe that we have a moral duty to speak out whenever we feel like it. And actually, I do feel like it. Because I'm really sick and tired of all the content creators that all the time go to the cinema to see the latest live action movie. They do an Instagram post, the Instagram stories, and they shout once they're out of the cinema, "It's amazing!" without even telling you why it's amazing. And when you try to challenge them, they just and they say, "But look, the sales, it sells a lot, it sells a lot, it sells a lot." Hey guys, when the sale was just another word to say quality, I would have actually closed an eye if it was just one movie, one experiment, just one little thing to just try out something different. But no, it's a whole process, it's a whole operation to swap all the classical Disney animated movie with the live action. And don't tell me that it's not like that, because I heard actually rumors that they're even planning to do the live action of The Black Cauldron, one of the most forgettable movie of the classic Disney. And the sad part, this is just another thing to say that the live action are for everybody and the classical animated movie are for the kids. And wow, that's so shameful. It's almost a century of animation, of progress that we thought we had done, but we did not. Walt Disney himself, he wouldn't be happy at all of this operation, okay? Because all this operation, they are going against his own philosophy and the foundation in which he built his own company, the Walt Disney Company. Okay, if you ever come across this book, I'm gonna prove it to you, please make yourself a favor and buy it, because this is the most honest biography of Walt Disney himself. It makes you understand that at the end of the day, Walt, he wasn't this great hero, this devil like they like to describe it. He was just a man. But in this book, there is an amazing quote from Walt himself. "This is not the cartoon medium. It should not be limited to cartoons. We've got more in this medium than making people laugh." Good. What did he mean with that? Well, he meant that at the end of the day, the animation speaks in the child, in all of us. In fact, that the premiere of Snow White, they were just grown up. The animation is not a genre, it's a technique. Whoever said that that was supposed to be just for the kids? Walt Disney hated the Xerox technology. For the people who don't know, the Xerox technology was a kind of machine, a kind of process, able to skip all the inking stage. So at the end of the day, you can really save a lot of money, and he saved a lot of money. But Walt really hated that. Walt hated the Xerox technology, because on the final product, you can see the pencils. I actually kind of like that. He was looking for the perfection. He was not just looking to make money, just to make you understand which kind of person Disney was. Now, let me ask you something. What would a man like that, what would he think about his own company today if he was still alive? A company that is keep neglecting about his own classics. A company that is keep digging up the past instead of creating something new. Do you really think he would be happy? I would like to be totally honest with you. The first live action of Under One Dalmatian of 1996 and the Alice in Wonderland and maybe even Dumbo, I actually like it. Because behind there was a director like Tim Burton with his own artistic vision. Try to remember what happened with the trilogy of Batman. Yeah, he didn't do Batman Forever because he didn't want to put a Robin in it. And he would have gained a lot of money out of it. The point is that you're not gonna find people like that a lot. But after that, holy moly mother of cheese. What's happening now is different, because they're trying to do a shot by shot of the same movie doing with the real actors. But it's not really like that, because they're trying to ban all the stuff that they didn't like, that probably decided they don't like right now, and try to bend it just to please everybody, okay? But when you try to please everybody, you don't please no one. That is a common rule. I would not believe that a kid nowadays is gonna go to the cinema and see a live action of, for example, Mulan and say, "Wow, this is a movie that I will watch over and over and over again, like we all did with the older classics." I don't believe that, I'm sorry. And let me tell you something, I'm not referring from the fact that classic Disney is so different from the fairy tale so we can do everything we want. Of course no, because Disney has always betrayed the original fairy tale. Let's take, for example, the best movie in sales on the live action Disney, The Lion King. How, you need to explain to me, how can you watch a 3 hours of movie with lions with no facial expressions whatsoever? They have no facial expression because they're lion, because they're animal. Okay, that's why in the animation in general, not just in the classic Disney, there is a sort of anthropomorphization of the animals. Because if certain things are made for an animation movie, they don't work in a live action. Take for example the scene of Mufasa's death. Try to see the live action and compare it to the old classic and you will understand everything. We can't deny the fact that all the time when they are releasing a new live action, okay, the people go to the cinema having in mind the old classic movie. It is not totally wrong because even the advertising promise you something like that. And that's the same reason why on the Disney store, when the movie is up to get released, people are buying the merchandise and the store are full of the kind of merchandise, yes, but of the old classic movie. And don't even try to give me the fact that sometimes, like in Mulan live action, they're trying to make it more faithful to the original tale, because it's not really like that. It's kind of partially. For example, according to me, removing one of the best mascots in the Disney classic like Mushu, but on the original fairy tale, there are no cheap powers, there's no witch, there's no flying around and stuff like that. So, what are we really talking about? Sorry to say that, probably you already heard that, but Disney was doing a better job with the representation when they didn't even try. Art cannot and should not be chained down by an ideology to just please the market, just to avoid criticism. There's not really a way to protect the art. Maybe that's the problem. We are not interested to art anymore. Try to think about what we're gonna leave to the next generation. Walt Disney himself, he wasn't a saint, he wasn't flawless. He was a man. He was just a normal man that created stories that overpassed them. Stories that invited us into their world, not the other way around. Whenever we consume art, so a book, a video game, a song, a painting, anything, we should be the one to step into the kind of place, to go inside the kind of context. We should be willing to see through the lens into another time, another culture, another environment. This is the diversity, not something else. Okay, if we just expect and to bend every piece of art just to make it more like us, just to make it easy for us, well, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should stop to just consume any kind of art. Because you know, the beauty of the art is the fact that it's challenging us. I really have a physical pain now that I'm seeing that we are relegating the animation to the kids area all over again. Why do we feel in defect to see a cartoon? Okay, it's so crazy that we are getting lazy even with the entertainment. I know I'm just talking about Disney, I know, but even DreamWorks is doing the same path nowadays. They're doing, while I'm recording the video, at the cinema there is the live action of How to Train Your Dragon, a movie that I really love. And you will see that it's not just one experiment. They were gonna do the same path. What's the point to do a live action of a movie that is not old and a movie that is already in 3D? So he already tried to kinda look like the real people and made with a different technique. What's the point? I know, I have to admit that, you know, the dragon is very beautiful, but there's not a point. So do you really think that we're gonna rewatch that movie in about 15 years? Or we're gonna go to the old classic movie? Because one day, the only problem, we're gonna remember this movie just for the box office sellings. Disney used to make a lot of money because it made great art. Now, they make art just because it will have a lot of money. We cannot afford risk anymore because after 3 movies that they are bad, a studio, it risks to close. But you know, the art, the great art, it doesn't come with no risk at all. Let's think about Disney. Disney almost sold his old house to have a production of Snow White. And I pretty much think that all the animation studios, they are supposed to honor that kind of legacy. So don't you feel frustrated from the fact that artists like that have no space at all nowadays? Now for sure Disney will close all my collaboration with them, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not saying this because I really just would like to blast Disney, because I love Disney. Disney is my childhood, that's why I'm saying that, because I'm really suffering inside saying that. Okay, sometimes I really envy the new generation, that they have literally a whole new world, art, at their disposal, that they just are waiting to be discovered. Okay, I'm done. I believe I said pretty much everything I wanted to say. But really guys, tell me what you think. Help me out with the algorithm. Not really, tell me actually if you think I'm wrong. Try to make me change idea if you want. And thank you very much for the feedback of the latest video. It was really amazing. Thank you very much guys, and thank you. I need to work in a sort of end of the video. So guys, thank you very much. I'm gonna have my hand to just close the video for this. Bye guys.
Don't sing, just say bye guys.